This episode of D-Suite Nation is sponsored by Hoffman's Deco Deli. Now at their brand new location at 444 Saginaw Street in the heart of downtown Flint, Heath Hoffman and his staff has provided the Flint community with deliciously fresh food for the past 11 years. Whether you're stopping in for lunch, looking for catering for your corporate event or meeting, or simply stopping in for a hot cup of coffee, Hoffman's has something on the menu for you. Hoffman's Deco Deli, guaranteed to make your day a little fresher.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the D-Suite Nation show. We are at Sharky's today in Burton. This is episode 11, and this is the season finale of 2019. I've got Fred Jackson in the house today from Flint. Boo, how you doing?
All right, how's it going, Ray?
We know him as Boo. Andre Weathers over there clapping. Heckling or clapping, I don't know what he's doing.
It's both. That's what he do.
Fred, man, how you been, brother?
Been good. Been real good, Ray.
You're the head coach of the track team for the Flint Jaguars, and you're assistant coach on the football team.
Yep.
The head coach is here. Like I said, Andre Weathers is here.
Yeah, he over there.
Yeah. Tell us about how it was growing up in Flint, man, and tell us about your family life growing up.
Growing up in Flint, for me, was fortunately, I grew up in a good area, good neighborhood, had lots of friends that I'm still friends with today. Went on through Flint School, Scott Elementary, where Scott skyrockets.
Scott.
Let me send a shout out. We were number one in everything.
Oh, Lord.
I never lost. I don't remember losing the game to Scott.
Forgot
anyway.
he went to Scott. You do realize that Scott is the third best school on Averill Avenue.
See, here you go with that again. I heard you say that.
It is. It's the third. It's behind Sobey, man.
No, Sobey.
It's behind Sobey. I mean, we're number one, but it's behind Sobey, man.
I'm going to let you have it because it's your show.
I can't believe that you admit coming from Scott. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we had.
I'm just kidding. That was Flint Central's home field for soccer games, right?
Yeah, they did play there. Yeah,
I used to go there all the time. We have a Randy Scott sighting in here. Randy Scott is in the building.
Uh-oh.
All right, Fred, man, look. We all know, real Michigan fans know the name Fred Jackson, okay? Because your father was an assistant coach, running backs coach. I mean, he's been to other places too, but he's best known for being a Michigan Wolverines assistant coach. And I believe Gary Moeller hired him. Is that correct?
Yep.
And tell me if my years are right. 1992 to 2014, somewhere. Am I in the
That's
vicinity?
about right. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. And he's coached a lot of great players. And I know you've been to a lot of great places. You've been a part of the Michigan family. Once again, I'm going to mention Andre Weathers again. He played on the team and won a national title.
Sure did.
So
I was at that game, actually, too.
Go ahead and touch upon, man, what life was like growing up, having a father on the Michigan coaching staff.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. I was always a long-time Michigan fan, always anyway. I remember when he was at Wisconsin, and he used to play with Michigan at Wisconsin. And, or at Michigan. Yeah, I used to go for Michigan, even though my dad was coaching at Wisconsin. So when he came to Michigan, it was like, it was like the best thing ever. Now I could go on campus. I can see the facilities. I can meet players. It just changed everything. And then Andre went there, so that just enhanced it. And then one of my running backs, that coach Thomas Rawls went there.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm really bleed blue, So,
I know you do.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Wisconsin. Is it true what they say about Camp Randall? That's like arguably the nicest stadium in college, or do you disagree?
No, it's not the nicest stadium.
Every time they talk about beautiful venues and all that, that's always like usually
from what I
everybody's
remember.
top pick.
From what I remember, it was okay. I wouldn't say it's the nicest. I mean, it was all right. It had decent facilities. But I'm sure it's probably better now.
So people are overblowing that up when they say how nice
maybe
that campus is.
Maybe.
How many times have you been to the Horseshoe?
About 4 times. About 3 or 4 times.
About 3 or 4 times? Let me ask you something, man. Why do you think I'm scared to go to the Horseshoe to watch a football game?
What I think you're scared?
Yeah. Every time I mention, hey man, let's go. Ray, you don't want to go there.
Because I know
there?
you, man.
I'm the perfect guy to go there.
No, you got to have an entourage.
I didn't say just me and you going. No,
you got to bring about 10 other people with you.
45 deep.
Right.
Okay. I'm not stupid now.
I don't think you'd make it through the game.
No, he probably wouldn't make it through Ohio to even get to the stadium.
What do you mean?
Those fans, those Ohio State fans are vicious. They're just
vicious, man.
Jerks.
I have never experienced. That's like, I don't want to say it's the worst experience.
Do I look like a Catholic schoolboy that gets his hair parted
no,
by the father?
I'm not saying that,
like?
but they're assholes.
So am I.
Ray,
I am too.
I don't think you understand. they're assholes for no reason. Like, they can be beating you 50
They're
to
good
nothing.
fans. I mean, they're good fans. You're supposed to be. Right?
Not like that.
There's good fans and then there's asshole fans.
Yeah, man, it's a big difference.
I think that as much as I hate that program, I think they have the most loyal fan base probably in the country, maybe other than Notre Dame.
I can agree with that.
Other than Notre Dame, probably. They probably have the most loyal fan base, and I would probably put them ahead of Notre Dame because they give you the craziness also.
Yeah.
That's a good fan. I wish our fans were like that.
You're right. They are a very loyal fan base.
I think Michigan fans are loyal. They're just not assholes.
Right.
Michigan fans,
You might need to go to a game.
we're different.
You might need to go to a game just to
it's
see
the
what I'm
kind of
talking
thing
about.
he's going to have to experience. To
Yeah, I
believe.
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Fred, let me tell you something. I'm not scared to go to the Horseshoe to watch a Michigan-Ohio State game. I got news for you. I'm the guy you want to be in your entourage going with you. I don't know if you feel safe with Trubin Harrison and Dr. Buford and all them other guys. Maybe you feel safe with them there, but you need to have me there.
I agree.
Me and Tyvon,
but-
big Michigan fans,
honestly-
like Tyvon and Tyrus Fowler and all them.
Yeah, it might be a different experience.
Shoot, man, please.
But I don't say too much when I'm down there. I just watch the game.
Now, do you still go to the games a lot? Even though your dad isn't there anymore.
This is the first year in over 20 some odd years that I missed a game. I usually go to at least one home game, at least one, and this is the first year I missed a game because I don't have Pop's not there no more. So
Okay.
the plug is gone.
Let me ask you a question because you have a lot of head coaching experience with all the schools you've been to as an assistant and as a head coach. What is it about our football team now like that needs to be addressed? I'm not saying change coaches, but what are some fields and areas that you would address if you were there?
Well,
and I'm not
right.
saying fire Harbaugh. It's not what I'm saying. But what would you do?
I mean, honestly, we got to be a little patient. I think we getting the right things in place. It's just, I always said, the Rich Rod era set us back 10, 20 years. That set us back. So I think the right things are in place, man. I'm not really disagreeing too much with what's going on. I kind of like the direction it's going. So, and that's my opinion.
So what's your opinion about the difference between like a guy like Harbaugh, right? Who's in at year 5, really hasn't. I mean, we're winning 9-10 games, but really hasn't competed on the national level.
Yeah.
Versus a guy like Matt Rule at Baylor, who turned Temple around in a year, turned Baylor around in a year.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that because, I mean, you got to be in the right situation. The right coach got to come in the right situation. And I was arguing with a friend of mine, like, okay, if you let Harbaugh go, who we going to bring in?
But I said, it wasn't, let him go.
Yeah, but what can we do to,
Let's go back to that Wisconsin game earlier in the year, the game we lost. I mean, you seen Charles Woodson almost like crying in the studio when he was talking about that game.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I don't have the head coaching experience like you do, but I don't. Whether you have talent or no talent, it is inexcusable, in my opinion, to have your team unprepared to play football. Okay?
Yeah.
We should be to the point now. It's 5th year, going on his 6th year next year. We should be to the point now. When we lose a game, it's because that team was better than us before the game started. Like by now, I would have thought we would have been competing with the Nick Sabans, the Urban Meyers, and the Sweeneys by now. At least competing with them. We haven't even sniffed a playoff berth yet.
Yeah,
and no division titles. Did we ever finish 2nd in the division with him there?
I don't know.
I think since he's been there, he's finished 3rd and lower.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough, man. Especially being a diehard Michigan fan, it's rough.
What about that year that we lost to Iowa late in the season? In that snowy game in Iowa.
I remember that game. That's the game.
That was like 2 years ago.
Davion Smith fumbled.
Oh yeah, David. That's
got
some time
safety.
back.
He got safetied in the. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. We were ranked number 2. I think we're like 8 or 9-0. It was like kind of late in the season.
Yep.
When I think of that game, there's 2 things I think of. Thank you for bringing up a bad memory, Dan. God, I didn't want to talk about this game, but what I remember about that game, and you watch the play, later on. Davion Smith, who I was not a fan of that year. I thought Chris Evans was running the ball way better that year. Okay, but as I touched on in previous shows, Harbaugh has blind loyalty to seniors. It's like if you're a senior, you're entitled to play.
Right, and that's how he
Chris
came up.
Evans was clearly a better running back that year. Now, if you look at that play where he got safety.
Okay.
He gets the ball in the end zone. He runs like to the goal line and he stops. And he kind of turns around. Just all you have to do is watch it.
I would have to see the
he
replay.
stops, and then he kind of turns, and then he gets hit, and he gets safety.
Uh-huh.
And later on in that game, late in the fourth quarter, I don't remember if it was 3rd and long or if it was 4th down. J.U. Chesson had a ball right here for a first down and didn't catch it. He was our quarterback in 2016, Spate. Spate threw the ball where it needed to be thrown. It was right here. And it, like, bounced off his hands.
Yeah. See, it's stuff like that. You know.
But see, I blame the safety when Smith got safety because we lost by a point. We lost 14-13. That was a difference in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
But I am a big believer. You can't blame the game on one play, Ray. You know, I'm a big believer of that. You can't blame one player or one play.
If he would have ran through the hole and the ball got popped, that's one thing. But the fact that just watch it. When you
I would have
watch
to watch.
it later,
I would
you'll
have to
say,
watch.
damn,
I had to watch.
Damn, Ray knows what he's talking about. Look,
right. Just keep
he's
your
running
feet
the ball.
turned.
You got to watch it in super slow motion, though. He's running, and then it's that split second. You know, football is a game of inches.
It's
man.
a game of inches.
He stopped at the goal line before the contact hit him, and he kind of turned a little bit.
I would have to watch.
Had he lunged forward a little bit, he would.
When he got
just watch the play.
Okay.
I blame Davion. I actually blame Harbaugh for that because Smith shouldn't have been in the game to begin with. Chris Evans should have got most of the carries.
I wasn't
Chris
a big
Evans
Chris
had a
Evans
hell of a
fan.
year. 7 yards a pop that year.
Yeah.
6 point. I had to look
You
it
got
up.
the stats. You got
No,
You got the statistics.
I don't have all the statistics, but I
Okay.
have this particular statistic because I used to argue about Davion
Okay.
Smith and
Okay.
Chris Evans and who was better. So I looked at the stats. And Evans, if you look at his 2016 season, 7 yards a pop.
Okay.
Granted, he didn't have as many carries as Smith did, but he's getting 7 yards a pop.
Okay.
And he had a great season. But
Yeah.
Just for the record, Ray,
this is why we run out of time because you bring up these sore subjects that I have to talk about, man.
in Harbaugh's 5 years, last year, 2018, they were tied for first in the East. All the other years, third or fourth.
What do you mean tied for first?
2018, they were tied for first in the East Division.
Oh, okay.
Was that the year he was ranked high and lost to
OSU
Ohio?
got the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
That was last year?
Yep.
Was that? I thought that was
3
the year
years.
before.
3 years
Okay.
finished third, and in 2017 they finished fourth.
Okay.
Okay.
So see, it's not that bad.
So I should be patient. Should I be patient?
See, I'm
I'll
I'm
be
trying to
patient.
be a patient fan. I'm trying to be one, so you should try too, Ray.
Last year's game, Ohio State game last year. Now, in the last 20 years, I always say that we're going to beat the Buckeyes, okay?
Me too.
85% of the time, I don't believe it. Last year, 2018, there was no doubt in my mind
Yeah.
that we're going to come
That
out
was the
of the horseshoe
team.
with
That
victory.
was the team.
I mean, Kirk Herbstreit picked us to win that. They all, not all of them, but Herbstreit picked us to win that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Because he specifically said on College Game Day, he said, you guys know I'm a Buckeye, to the day that I die. But he said, I have a job. How you doing?
What's going on?
Let's get on to Maryland.
Okay.
Josh Jackson. You know him, don't you?
Yeah, I know Josh Jackson.
Who is Josh Jackson? How
Young
do you know Josh
Young
Jackson?
Josh. That's my little brother. My
your
youngest
little
brother. Yep.
Doing a good job, too, man. Talk about Josh. Talk about
Josh,
Virginia
man.
Tech and then go to Maryland. I'll let you have the mic.
That's rough. That's rough. But okay, he started off at Virginia Tech. You know, he was an all-state quarterback here at Saline.
Oh, yeah.
Went on to Virginia Tech. You know, redshirted his first year, earned a starting job, and set records. Broke some of Mike Vick records.
I remember that.
Threw for almost 3,000 yards. You know,
I had that Vitek fever going last year.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
He did an excellent job. And then, unfortunately, the following year, he broke his leg. And like the third game in the season, they had a rough season. I don't even think they made it to a bowl that year. But anyway, he was graduating. My little brother graduated in 3 years, 3.5 years.
Okay.
So he had an option to leave. And he chose Maryland. You know, he liked Coach Loxley, and he was speaking with my dad, and they were feel real comfortable with him.
Yep.
He also had another visit to Florida State, but he didn't take that. So went on to Maryland. It's a tough situation. We all know Maryland being Michigan fans all these years, how they were down and everything. So I thought it was I still think it's a great opportunity for them because they got athletes.
It is a great opportunity.
Maryland has athletes. They just got to put it together. So, went on to Maryland, got the starting job.
Yep.
Struggled a little bit. I don't want to put no blame. I'm not want to put blame on anything, but he struggled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Won a few games, did all right, but, next year hopefully it'll be better. Even though his running backs are gone. Both of them left.
Does he have another year of eligibility?
Yep, one more.
Oh, so he'll be back.
Yeah, that's what I said. He did 3 years in Maryland. Graduated early. Yeah.
Okay, so he'll
Smart
be playing
kid.
next year.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him, man.
Man,
I
me
think
too,
he's doing
man.
a great job.
Me too.
You know what? Hey, man. He'll like this, what I'm about to say now. I would love to be him right now. You know why?
Why is that? A lot of girls or something?
Oh, hey, hold on. Yeah. I was
Ray
just going
likes
to let
the
you
honey,
read
son.
between the lines. I was going to let you read between the lines.
Uh-huh.
He's a quarterback at a Division I program. He's very good looking.
Very handsome.
Doesn't look
young
like
man.
you at all.
Man.
Good looking. Need I say more? The quarterback is always the most popular in college or high school. Nobody is more popular than the quarterback.
Nobody's more popular. You're right.
I would love to be him right now, man.
Yeah, he's a pretty popular guy, but he's not a guy that be really out there a lot. He's not at bars.
I know. I'm just saying. I know if I was in his body, I would be. Yeah, I would be a little more sinister.
Right. I probably would too.
No, I love Josh, man. I watch him.
He's a
I've
great
been
kid,
following
man.
him, man. I didn't cheer for him in the Michigan game. My prediction was for the Michigan-Maryland game, I said, well, obviously I wanted Michigan to win, but I don't want anybody on Maryland to have any injuries. I didn't want him to get injured.
Yeah.
But
and I still get nervous watching Josh because that's what I'd be fearful of, him getting hurt.
It's harder. Because
it's tough.
Watching Josh, with the age difference, it's almost like watching your kid,
Yeah,
and
right,
it's
right.
more tough to watch something like that than be actually playing out there.
Exactly.
I understand where you come from with that.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got, when you wore the number 12, Randall Cunningham was your favorite player.
Favorite player.
Talk about Randall Cunningham.
He was like one of the first guys, that I saw that can throw and run very well.
Yeah.
He had a strong arm, man.
Strong
and I was
arm.
just man.
He
I
can
was
fling it 80 yards.
easy. And it's like, he was just a guy I always looked up to. I got the first starter jacket in '89. The next year got the next starter jacket because of him. So Randall. But honestly though, it was my favorite player, and that's where I wore 12. But I really wanted to wear my dad number, like Josh, 17. But Central didn't have 17. So, but.
No, they sure didn't.
Right. But other than that, though, Randall, man, he was good on his feet, man. He was just exciting to watch. I wanted to be just like
we actually have something in common with that Randall. My favorite player of all time was his teammate at Philadelphia, Reggie White. Reggie White. Because I think when Randall got there, Buddy Ryan was still their head coach, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Look, Randall Cunningham, had Charlie Garner, I think, was there.
Okay.
Andre Waters played defense. They had Reggie White, Jerome Brown.
Did they have
Mike
Ernest Biner too?
Yeah, Keith Jackson, wasn't he there too? Ernest, I don't know if Biner was Biner.
Biner, I thought, was with the Browns still. Was he still with the Cleveland
Biner.
Browns?
Maybe it's the
Keith Byers you're
Keith
thinking of.
Byers.
Yeah,
Keith Byers.
yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
It's funny you mention it because sometimes I get the names confused too.
Right.
I do that all the time where I mean Keith Byers, but I
Right,
accidentally
right.
say
Say somebody
Ernest Biner.
Right.
But yeah, it was Keith Byers, Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons.
Dang, more kids than people I know.
Man, that defense was, man, that
great
defense
Mike
was
Golick.
straight, man. Huh?
the great Mike Golick.
He was a
Yeah.
lineman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a lineman, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember, Randall Cunningham also had a 91-yard punt.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Yeah, the Giants punted the ball
yeah.
91 yards.
Still the longest punt on record.
Is that still the longest punt?
Yeah.
He's an athlete,
Yeah,
man.
well, it bounced and rolled,
Of course.
but yeah, he what an athlete, man.
Yeah,
he changed
man.
the game. That was something different, man.
Yeah.
I still think with his speed and his arm, he would be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL today.
He could play today for sure.
People rave today about Patrick Mahomes. Randall Cunningham was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I think,
Or even Lamar Jackson,
I was just going to say,
they move around about the same, too.
I think like what Lamar Jackson is doing this year is probably a little bit above Cunningham.
Yeah.
But
Cunningham
no, I
didn't have-
clearly remember how dominant Cunningham was.
Cunningham didn't have the running ability at Lamar Jackson, but he was obviously one of the most mobile quarterbacks.
Yes.
Of
Oh,
all
yeah,
time.
when he broke the pocket.
He
that
was
it.
more.
Yes.
He was more armed than legs.
Yeah.
He could sling it, but he was very mobile.
Yeah.
It's fun talking about Randall Cunningham because when we're talking about Shaq later on,
Oh, my
we ain't
God.
gonna be agreeing on anything.
Oh my God. Yeah, we will. I watched those videos, man.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, we'll talk
I
about
haven't
that.
watched additional videos.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Here's a good subject that Dan was looking forward to talking about. Tom Brady. You had Tom Brady on your list. What do you think of Tom Brady?
Man, the GOAT. He's the best to ever do it, man.
Would you beg to differ, or
I'm not just talking about quarterback. I'm just talking about player.
So Fred,
he
this
said
is,
player,
this,
not
this has
quarterback. He
been
said player of all time.
player of all
Player.
time. Oh, that
Yes.
I have to disagree with you.
Oh.
He is not the best player of all time.
Gotta be.
He is barely the best quarterback of all
Barely?
time.
Oh, nah, that's
Barely.
disrespectful.
All right.
This has been an ongoing debate with Ray and I about the level of greatness of Tom Brady. Now this is I told Ray before the show I was going to have something to tell him that was going to be shocking.
I gotta hear this.
I did some research and looked at Tom Brady's numbers again, and he's second in all-time TDs, second in all-time yards. That with the rings, I have to say that Tom Brady is the GOAT at the quarterback position. Now, what I have to throw in there is Drew Brees, very underrated quarterback.
I agree with that.
If Drew Brees wins another Super Bowl ring this year, you got to start putting him in that too because
agree with him there.
He's the leader in yards, leader in touchdowns. Although Brady, I think if he plays a few more years, he might have a chance to pass that. But if Brees plays a few more years, then no, because he's going to be on pace with that.
I hear you.
Where does Joe Montana factor in all this
He's right behind him.
quarterback discussion? Where would you rank him? Is he in your
right.
top 5 quarterbacks?
Joe
He's number
Montana, right now.
I have him number 2. And you know what? I didn't.
Right now, he's barely cracking my top 5.
Barely cracking.
Maybe.
See,
I
I'm
say
gonna hold on.
Just roll with the punches with him.
Brady, Brees, Manning, Marino, Elway. That's my top 5.
I had Montana as the best for a long time. It was the Super Bowl against the Falcons.
That
when
put
the
you over.
Patriots were down 28-3 late in the third. That changed my mind that Brady was the best.
I'm gonna tell you why Brady's the number one. Now, a lot of these quarterbacks that came through, they had a lot of consistency. Brady, you can barely name a receiver that Brady's had. He's probably ran through 100, 200 receivers out of all these years.
Yeah.
Joe Montana had consistency. You know, a lot of those famous quarterbacks, they had consistency, but not Brady. Think of it, running backs wise. Name a top running back that he had.
That was
Corey
like a
Dillon?
big name.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
Corey Dillon?
Yeah, Dillon was good.
I
but,
see his point. I see.
he
his point.
played with so many different players.
But
Corey Dillon was a good running back, but he wasn't Roger Craig. I think is what he's trying to say.
And
Right.
I'm just saying, all of his receivers. Just think of all of his receivers. You know,
So this is what I told Ray before, that the Patriots' success and Brady's success has come. There's 21 other guys on the field. Everybody wants to put wins and losses and championships solely on a quarterback, right?
Right.
There's 21 other guys contributing to that.
right?
The Patriots have had, besides Brady, the rest of their roster has been guys that you've never heard of, or
Yeah.
guys that were cast-offs from other teams, or
Right.
they were nothing on other teams, right? So in my mind, that plays more to Belichick than Brady, because Belichick's system and Belichick's coaching
How
has
much?
taken these guys and done it in a way that he could. Kyle Van Noy is a starter for the Patriots, right? A
Right.
cast-off for the Lions. Couldn't even
Right.
stay on the Lions team.
But you think Brady don't have anything to do with that system?
He does. He
I
does.
bet he has a lot to
Let me-
do
let me
with what
ask
they're
you-
It's
doing.
Brady and Belichick.
I knew that he was going to say to bring up the system. It's because of Belichick's system. I'm not really arguing that. Now, should we say when Michael Jordan won those 6 titles, we should credit Tex Winter for bringing that triangle offense?
Right.
We should credit
Right.
him and not Michael Jordan.
No, but that's what I had to think about. You have to think about. You can't just judge a quarterback solely on rings. You have to factor in stats too, right? So you take stats,
Now, what-
mix in the championships, and that's what I think contributes to being the GOAT or
I agree.
or great.
I do
an
agree
extent.
with that, but had that been Peyton Manning with all those credentials,
Yeah.
he'd be crediting Peyton Manning. He wouldn't even be talking about them.
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday and all them other
It could have been.
Indianapolis
It could have been
Colts.
anybody
Come
that
on,
won
Dan.
6 rings. Any quarterback. We'll be talking about. He's the best.
He's got some good
You
points.
just don't like Brady.
As much as I want to disagree with him, he has some good points.
Right? Yeah.
Fred, here's another good, interesting name on here, dude. Jim Jackson, The
Yeah.
Ohio State University.
Now don't give me. Don't. All right.
Well, no, I didn't mean
All
to
right.
say Ohio State like I'm a I didn't mean to say like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
I was just a fan of his. I liked his game. I mean, I wasn't a big follower of Jim Jackson, but I liked the way he played.
I like the way he played, kind of like the way I like Calbert Chaney at Indiana.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I know exactly.
I didn't like
what you're
Calvert, but I
saying.
know what you mean.
Jim Jackson, when I think of him at Ohio State, I don't view him as somebody that I hated and
Right.
because he's like well, I don't know him personally, but he just looks like. No, matter of fact, I met him one time real quick
straight
at the
up.
Chrysler Arena because he does the Big Ten.
Okay,
Big Ten games
yeah.
Me and my buddy got to a game. We went to a Western Michigan game. Got there really, really early. There was hardly anybody in the building. He was down there. I did shake his hand real quick. Real quick. And he's a nice guy, but
Yeah, man.
hey, how about that? Do you remember that Elite Eight game, the Fab Five, when they were freshmen at the Rupp Arena? They played Ohio State at the Rupp Arena.
I think I remember part of that. I can't give you the whole thing, but
Michigan versus Ohio State. Ohio State won the Big Ten title in basketball.
yeah,
They beat us twice.
Right. I remember them winning it. Yep.
It was kind of similar in '89. That who was I talking? I think it was Fordham. No, George.
Okay.
Talking to George last week.
Yep.
It was kind of similar to '89 when Illinois handled us twice in the regular season. Kendall Gill and all the Ohio State guys.
Yeah. That was a good squad too.
And then we played them in the Final Four and beat them with that Sean Higgins baseline jumper. Kind of, '92 was kind of similar. Fab Five, they were freshmen. Lost to Ohio State twice. Jim Jackson, Lawrence Funderburk, and all them.
Funderburk, yeah, that's
And,
right. Your memory is awesome.
We played them in the Elite Eight. As a matter of fact, that game was played on the same day that Christian Laettner hit that shot against Kentucky. Where Grant Hill threw
we
it
caught in through the yeah.
Same day.
Wow.
That game was the same day.
Okay.
And Weber did like a. You ever see the famous game where Juwan Howard's catch?
Yeah.
It was that Ohio State game.
Was that the Ohio State
Rupp
game?
Arena.
I thought that was the semi or.
That was at the Rupp Arena. It was Elite Eight. It was right before the Final Four.
Okay.
We beat
yeah.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
And on that documentary, they said how Steve Fisher said that if they beat Ohio State, he's going to take them to the Cosby Show or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, that was the Rupp Arena. Jim Jackson, great Jim Jackson.
Yeah.
team.
Great Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson was one of those players you hated Ohio State, but you respected that dude's game because he was
respected
so
his game.
good.
He was
like
solid. He was a
Jim
solid player.
Jackson, Glenn Robinson. It was the same
Calvert
way.
Chaney, another guy.
He was
Calvert
like he was that one guy on the other team that you were just afraid of.
Right,
That,
like Steve
that you
Smith.
knew was going to
Steve
do
Smith.
something.
Yep.
Steve Smith, another good guy. A guy that he thinks is better than Glenn Rice.
I didn't say that.
No, I know. Shaq. We got to talk about Shaq now.
See, okay.
Go ahead. I'll let you start us off.
No, my thing is this. You asked me a question, I answered it.
Yep.
But
What was the question I asked you?
who's like the best center or something of all time? Or
Yeah.
who's the top 5 or something,
You didn't say Shaq, did you?
Well, I said Shaq. I think Shaq was one of the most dominant players we have ever seen.
Absolutely.
Now, I saw some video. Ray sent me some videos about Bill Russell and Wilt Chaimberlain having conversations, and my mind kind of changed a little bit. So I'm confused.
I wasn't trying to change your mind. I just was
my
trying to
mind
open
didn't
up.
quite change, but I have to reevaluate my answer. I'm not gonna say it's Shaq. I'm not gonna say it's Wilt or Bill Russell, but I get the argument. But I'm not gonna let you just knock Shaq.
I know. Now, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Did you get the video where he was going coast to coast? and
Did
shot
that layup
layup?
from dang near the free throw line?
For those who just think that Bill Russell's, 111 out of 13 and he was just as physical, I sent him a video.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Russell got a rebound, took the
Yeah.
ball coast to coast. He probably dribbled the ball 3 times.
That's what I was gonna say, about 3
Long
times.
strides, very, very fast. He jumped from the free throw line,
And finger
glided, and almost went past. He almost went past the rim. He was. I mean,
It
the
looked
guy
easy.
was an athlete.
Yeah,
Bill
he was an
Russell
athlete. He was an athlete.
And
So who's your top 5 centers, Ray, of all time?
that's easy. In no particular order is Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, and Olajuwon.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's
sounds
easy.
about
The
right.
center,
Yep,
the
that's
top
about
5
right.
centers. That's easy to answer.
Yeah.
I'll put him on the spot later when I ask him all-time 5. He'll have to answer that too.
Man, that's tough too, man.
I know, but you got to answer. You got to answer it. So, Shaq, as far as like, there's a lot of things I can say about Shaq, good and bad. Mm-hmm. First thing comes to my mind, he got snubbed off the Dream Team, which I thought was bull crap.
Yep.
I didn't cuss. Bull crap. Christian Laettner on the Dream Team is
he barely played, didn't he?
barely played. Didn't even play in practice.
Right. They made him watch. Right.
Laying down.
Right. Right.
But how fun would that have been to see Shaq on the Dream Team catching lob passes from
That would
Magic
have been.
Johnson?
That's what I'm saying. That would have been dope. Yeah.
So he got snubbed there. Mm-hmm. The first time I seen him play, when he was at LSU, I was like, wow. I mean, even Larry Bird, when Shaq was in college, Larry Bird said the best player in the world right now is Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Larry Bird said that.
He was a freak, man.
So would that what difference experience would Shaq had on that team than Christian Laettner did? You think he would have played?
He would have played. I think he would have played. He was so athletic too at the time, man. He was athletic. Shaq could run the floor.
That
Like Wilt, but not as much. But you know,
that particular Olympics, all of those games were basically exhibition games, just out there having fun.
Yeah.
It's like, who has the right to be out there having fun? They had to have the one college guy on there. So obviously the criteria was, if you're National Player of the Year, that's who's going on there.
Yep.
Shaq would have, I think Shaq could have started on that team.
Right.
They wouldn't have started him, but
you think it's because
He's good enough to.
They
You
wouldn't.
think it's because
You tell me-
Laettner wasn't physical enough to like practice against Olajuwon and Ewing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He could have. Yeah.
Whereas Shaq could have held his own against those guys.
Could you imagine Shaq posting up and running on the European guys, that European style of play?
Yeah, because he did it the next year when he was in the NBA.
I mean, I don't understand why they would put Christian Laettner on that team.
Player of the Year. And they just won one too, right? They just won it that year too. Did they win it that year?
Yeah, they beat the Fab Five.
Yeah.
Remember, they
So
blew the
yeah,
Fab
that
Five
made
up.
sense. You know.
Well, that's one of the greatest college teams of all time. I know
yeah.
that, but Shaq, I wish that he would have kept his body in better shape. I know that they say,
Yeah.
like what Wilt and Bill Russell said on the things that I sent you, how they would have sprinted on him for the entire game because they were in condition. So stamina would have been a factor.
Maybe.
Here's where I laugh at Shaq. I saw this. You ever see that interview that Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas did where they kind of rekindled their friendship?
Yeah.
Did you see that interview?
Yeah.
Shaq and Kobe did something like that after them.
Okay.
Where Shaq was sitting in the chair and Kobe was sitting in the other one. They were talking.
I don't think I saw that one though.
And Shaq, he was talking about 2004 when they lost to the Pistons.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, such a bad memory. We should have won that easily. Ben Wallace on me. Oh, how we lose to Ben Wallace." But the part that he didn't mention was when you went to Miami the next year, riding Dwayne Wade's coattails, Ben Wallace beat you again. So what,
Why gotta be riding his
famous
coattails?
block.
Huh? Why gotta be riding his
I'm just going by what Chuck
They
says all
compliment
the
each
time.
other. They complimenting
Chuck
each other.
says that all the time because he
Does
gets
he?
on Barkley about not winning any championships. And Chuck always says, "I didn't have Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant carrying me up and down the court."
Chuck's a hater.
that famous block in the, against the Heat where Shaq goes up and Ben Wallace goes up with him and he throws Shaq down on his back. I mean, how are you going to criticize Ben Wallace, man? We sent you home 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Ben Wallace was
Running
a dog.
up and down the court, flopping your lips around, man. He ain't.
See, that's why you don't like
Bill Russell or Abdul-Jabbar. How could you place him above Abdul-Jabbar?
I mean, because, man, I don't know. I guess, man, because I grew up watching him, man. I saw Abdul play too, though, but Shaq, man, see, nobody can like guard Shaq.
Okay, so if you grew up watching Shaq, you grew up watching Olajuwon, right?
Yeah?
So how could you put Shaq over Olajuwon?
Just easy, just like I did right there.
Olajuwon's one of the most skilled centers.
He was very
to
skillful.
ever-
He was very skillful. But like I said, it's just something about Shaq that I was a big fan of, man. He was dominant. You give him the ball on that block, you getting dunked on. Or defensively, you're not doing too much on him
And
offensively.
I think that's where people got hypnoptized by Shaq. I love Shaq. I was a huge fan
Because
of
of
Shaq.
his athleticism?
But those dunks,
Yeah.
breaking backboards, things like that. You
Yeah.
you
I
get
think so,
hypnotized
too.
by all that flash.
Yeah, you do.
I think he's right.
You do. But I mean, but it wasn't like it wasn't getting done. You know.
You're right.
No,
It was. But you could put him up against guys like Kareem and Olajuwon. Those guys were big men who had
They were big men.
ballerina
what blew my mind?
talent in the paint.
They had talent in the paint. But I'm going to tell you something from watching them videos that blew my mind. What you said about Wilt. I didn't know he was that strong. That's what threw me off. Now, if he really was benching 500-600 pounds, man.
That's what they said. Yeah,
Man.
benching 600 pounds, like later in his career. Not when he was early in his career.
Wilt Chaimberlain?
Yes.
600 pounds.
Benching 600 pounds.
Benching 600
Now, I can imagine.
pounds.
That's after, like you said.
And he was an All-American high jumper at Kansas. This guy was a real athlete.
He was
man.
an athlete, man.
That one year, he played every minute of every game and never didn't foul out. And then I had to tell you about when he led the league in assists one year.
Yeah, man.
Wilt led the league in assists one year.
I saw that stuff, yeah.
Another thing about Wilt, this is what they say. They said back in those days, when you were a center, the way that they measured you in height, they just 7 foot was the highest that they went. They wouldn't label, like if you were like 7'3", they labeled you at 7 foot.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Legend has it, they said Wilt was like, they think he was like 7'4", 7'5".
Really?
Yeah. But back then, no one was over 7 feet. That's just, they
Okay.
listed you, so you never went above that.
I didn't know
It's
that.
like a program height or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
They said he was every bit of 7'4", 7'5".
Really?
Yeah. Changed a lot of rules, man. But those were some interesting videos. Now Kareem, on the other hand, Stephen A. Smith said something the other day that I've been saying for years.
Uh-huh.
Now, when I talk about Kareem and his dominance, we ain't talking about bald-headed Kareem like when we was in school.
You talking about Lou Alcindor?
We ain't talking about, bald-headed, where, his hands looked like they were this long and just looked like an idiot. Like in the 70s. Like in the 70s and like the first 2 or 3 years of the 80s.
Okay.
That Kareem, man, you're talking about the only athlete ever in any sport that had a dominant move that nobody could stop.
Sky
A
hook.
move that was so unstoppable that you knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You knew that he was
You knew
going
it
to
was
do it
coming.
every single
You couldn't
time, and you
stop
couldn't
it.
stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would take that over Shaq and his dunks and all that, breaking backboards and. I don't know, man.
You just don't like that I like Shaq. Huh? You don't.
I didn't say that. I just wouldn't crown him.
I like Shaq.
I wouldn't crown him as the best center of all time. That's just my opinion. I try my best to be a student of the game.
I wouldn't even say. I didn't say he was the best center of all time, but he's in the talk. He's in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
especially after watching the videos, I'm like, oh,
When you're easily in the top 5, you're in that conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the college football playoffs are today. Okay.
Yeah, that's what
See,
I'm
we
kind
got
of watching them now. Is
We got Ohio State playing Clemson today.
Yep.
that the first
and-
game or the second?
That's the
That's the
first
second game.
That's the first game.
It's the first game. Okay.
Ohio
The Ohio
State-
State game is the second game. LSU and Oklahoma is the first game.
Okay.
Give me your predictions for those 2 games.
Well,
First do LSU and Oklahoma.
LSU and Oklahoma got to go with LSU. Got to.
I would agree
But it's hard to take away from Oklahoma because of Jalen Hurts. It's so hard.
because of Jalen Hurts, and I wouldn't underestimate the coaching ability of Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game. I mean, I think LSU is going to win. I think it's going to be a close game.
The first quarter is going to be key. I think it's the first quarter is going to set the tone for sure in this game. If Hurts, he's been there like the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So he knows what this is all about.
Yes.
So the leadership in that locker room should be a little bit different than the other one. But
That's a good point. Veteran leadership.
Yeah.
Championship experience.
yeah,
He's If there's any quarterback out of the 4 that is not nervous this weekend, it would be Jalen Hurts would be the top one. Yeah, I agree with that.
and the pressure is on LSU.
Yes.
It's like you got to win.
The
What is this?
Run game for LSU is a big question too.
Yeah.
With their starter out.
Yeah. So you got the Heisman winner over there. So I got to go with LSU, but that's a rough one. But I will go with LSU if I had to pick it.
Ohio State and Clemson. That is going to be one hell of a football game.
Now, how do you want me to answer this? With my heart or with my mind?
You want me to answer? Okay, I'll make you feel better. How about I do mine first and then you
Good
answer how
idea.
you want to?
Good idea.
Because I feel like I know who's going to win the playoffs, I probably won't even watch the playoffs. Okay, because I
Really?
I have a feeling I know who's going to hoist the trophy. I'm not even going to watch it. So, there.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna tell you
The
like
man
this.
that tells it like it is, Dan. I think I've been saying all year, I truly believe that Ohio State is the better team of the four. I think this playoff format this year
Is the best.
is the since its
Hands
inception in 2004, this is definitely the best.
Definitely
Yeah.
most compelling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. It's
I
no
think-
argument of who should be in there.
I
This is
think
it.
all the games are going to be close. I think Ryan Day will figure out a way to beat LSU in the championship. So when we go to the horseshoe next year, we'll be playing the national
Here's the
championship.
deal. I don't even think they're gonna make it to the championship.
So Fred,
Okay.
yeah, Ohio State, Clemson.
I'm gonna say Clemson. I mean, I think Ohio State is the better football team, but you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. So they're going up against Clemson, man, and that's a good football team. So they've been there too. They know what to expect. So I see Clemson in a close one.
What's Trevor Lawrence? What's his record? 28-0.
He ain't lost a game. He's
28-0.
undefeated and has a championship. You can never underestimate a champion, man.
Do you think that he might feel a little disrespected? That,
Yep.
You know.
Yep. He's not discussed. They're not really talking about him that much.
Not really, man. Sweeney is another. Guys like Dabo Sweeney, Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley, and Ryan Day, man. Those guys. I like coaches like that are like X's and O's, geniuses, and guys that don't. They hold accountability for their team. Like, let me give you an example. I'm praying to Jesus that we beat Alabama in our bowl game.
We're gonna beat
When I
Alabama,
say
man.
I'm praying to Jesus. I'm literally going to ask Jesus if he'll let us see this game all the way through. Now, because of Nick Saban's reputation and, like you said, underestimating the heart of a champion,
Yep.
don't be surprised if Alabama blows everybody out next year.
Yeah,
They'll
I mean,
be back.
that's
They'll be back.
yeah, that's every year with Alabama though.
They'll be number one.
Yeah, probably preseason number one. For all we know, shoot, Alabama's always tough.
This is
Loaded.
an exciting time to be a college football fan. I will be patient with Michigan, I guess, but if that's what you say. But no, as far as watching competitive football in the playoff, this is a beautiful time.
Yeah, it is.
I think Clemson's defense, I think, is first against the pass, ranked fifth against the run. I think Clemson defense shocks OSU.
Yeah. This is going to be the best team they've seen for sure.
Etienne and Trevor Lawrence have great games, and I think Clemson pulls off the upset and faces LSU in the championship
I
game.
agree with that.
Can't be mad at that. I mean, it's a logical.
But what
way of
scares
thinking.
me is I would pick LSU, but what scares me is that stat that in the college football playoff history, no team ranked number one has won the championship.
Really?
Going into the playoff.
The team that has been ranked number one has never won the championship.
I didn't know that.
Can't say that I knew that either.
Gotcha.
Because I would have thought Alabama would have been number one a few of those times.
Yeah.
Or Clemson. Huh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, another interesting fact. In this decade, the Patriots and Alabama have never won the title in the same year. Think about all the titles that both of them have won.
Yeah.
They've never won in the same year. Isn't that weird?
That is weird. How do you even think of that? Like,
I've seen it on TV.
oh, okay.
It's just something I've seen on TV.
Okay.
I think it's
I'm not
going.
a big.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. There's a
Okay.
misconception. Steve Levels. You guys think that I know all these stats. I'm not a big stat guy.
Yes, you are.
I go by like remembrance of watching games.
He's got a
You know what I'm saying?
photographic memory when it comes to sports.
Definitely.
Because like I'm able to talk about stuff on the spot, and I'm not looking. I don't have a tablet. Here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right.
Well, did you know? And I don't do that. Man. That's all freestyle. And 99% of the stuff I say on here is correct because I know Dan looks all this stuff up. And he's quick to call me out if I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
Which is a good thing.
yeah.
Okay. Here comes the question that I've been dying to ask you all week. You've had a week to prepare for this.
Oh, that quick. Okay.
Now, listen. I don't want some little short chicken shit answer. I want a logical reason in great detail. And you ain't going to sum it up in 5 words. I want to know why.
We're all going to answer this too, right? All three of us going to answer this question.
I have to answer it too?
Oh, yes. You're going to make him answer. You got to answer.
Oh. I didn't know that, did you? Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. Well, I'm going last. I'm going last then. Okay. The 1990s. Well, I mean, there's a lot of great athletes of the 1990s. These are just the 4 that I picked, okay? You got Ken Griffey Jr., And when I say Ken Griffey Jr., I'm talking about a young, skinny Seattle Mariners. Like Ken Griffey Jr., like when A-Rod and Randy Johnson were there, like
In
that
the
Ken
90s.
Griffey
Yeah.
Jr., the 90s.
Yeah, I got you.
The great Michael Jordan, obviously. I don't even need to say anything more about him. We got the great Michael Jordan.
Right.
Barry Sanders. And Roy Jones Jr. of the 90s. Okay?
Yeah.
You're in your office. You're calling all 4 of these guys to your office. All 4 of them.
Okay.
One of those guys is getting kicked out of the office because they're being cut from your team because they're not good enough to be in this group. I want to know which one of the 4, Ken Griffey Jr., Roy Jones Jr., Barry Sanders, or Michael Jordan. I want to know which guy you're going to tell that you're not good enough to be a part of this team. I want to know how you would say it. and
How
tell me
would
who you
say
cut.
it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, see, now, wait a minute. You ain't had me. Wait a minute, right?
Answer it how you want.
Now, okay.
But it
Now,
ain't
we
gonna be
talking
short
about,
and
out of these 4, are we talking about Griff with the Mariners? We talking about Jordan with the Bulls?
Yep.
We talking about,
Yes.
oh, that's what we talking about.
The 90s.
Oh, that changes
Not
everything.
2000s,
Which
yeah.
player are you
I
cutting?
thought you was going to ask me which one would I not take, or which. Oh,
No. Which one of you say
Ugh.
pulling into your office and saying, "You're cut,
is it.
hit the door"?
Yeah, you got to go.
man. I don't know, man.
Don't
I didn't
feel
think
bad
of it like
because
that.
I have to answer this question, too.
I didn't think
so
of it
just-
like that because I'm gonna tell you what, Roy Jones Jr. to me, I was a big fan of Roy Jones Jr. He's the reason I started really liking boxing.
You didn't like boxing before Roy
Nah,
Jones
I wasn't
Jr.?
into it. I really wasn't into it. I mean, I watched, I like Mike Tyson and different guys. I watch a big
Hold
fight.
on a second, man. We're the same age, man. Sugar Ray Leonard,
I mean,
Thomas
yeah, I like
Hearns.
Sugar Ray. I liked all them guys.
Roberto
but
Duran, Marvin Hagler.
I liked them guys. But I'm telling you, Roy, I became a big fan because
Mike
of Roy
Tyson?
Jones. Oh, yeah, I like
In the
Mike Tyson.
80s?
Yeah. I'm just telling you, Roy Jones was my
Purnell,
guy.
Sweet Pea Whitaker.
All them guys. Yeah, I liked them all.
I agree. Roy Jones Jr. for me was a guy
Man,
that
he was
took,
so exciting,
took
man.
my attention away from guys like Mike
Yeah.
Tyson.
Yeah.
He introduced me to the other weight classes. In
Right,
boxing.
yeah, he was going up and down. He was like whatever with Roy, but and
I am
Roy
so
was my guy.
disappointed. I'm so disappointed in both of you, man. Both of you.
come on, Ray, you asking me? I'm giving you from my perspective.
We grew up in
We
the
grew up with a
best
lot-
era of
Yeah.
the golden era of
yeah,
boxing.
in the middleweight class with Sugar Ray and all
Croc
that. Yeah.
Jim, man. I mean, oh.
I know, but I'm
Okay.
just telling you, he was
All
the
right.
reason
Okay,
I really started liking
I'm
boxing.
going to disguise my hurt, man, but
Okay.
So what's
And then with
who's the
Barry, shit. Barry was the Lions. You know what I'm saying? He was the Lions. You cannot dismiss Barry. You just can't do that. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, you saw what happened when he left. You got to keep Mike. You got to hang with Mike.
why?
Because Mike, he's one of very few guys who stayed loyal to his team. Well, they did it back in the early 80s, but he was so loyal to his team, he stayed, and he went through the grind. He got beat up for years, and he finally got his turn, won 3 in a row, then was like, you know what, I'm cool, I'm going to go play some baseball. Bulls didn't win nothing. Then he came back and won 3 more.
You know
So
why
you got to
they-
respect that
You know why they didn't win nothing?
because he was gone.
Because you had Scottie Pippen leading that team. That's why they didn't win nothing. All right.
They didn't win nothing because he was gone. And then Griff, see, this is the thing about Griff. See, I'm not a,
All-century team.
Yeah, I know a few things about Griffey, but here's the thing with him. I'm not a big baseball fan.
It doesn't matter. We're talking about pure dominant. You don't have to be a
Yeah,
fan
he was
of his.
dominant. He was
I wasn't
dominant.
a fan of Michael Jordan. That don't mean,
How you hate on Jordan?
how do I hate on
Yes,
Jordan?
because
okay,
the Pistons deal and all that.
like I told the last guy, what team do I identify with?
The Pistons.
The Bad Boys.
Okay.
And I-
But you got to
Ray-
respect that, man.
Ray
You
Lex-
can't
I
hate
don't
him. You got to
respect.
respect.
No, I don't have to respect
Yes, you
him.
do, Ray.
No, because the year that they swept us, okay, in
Okay.
'91, I remember this when it happened.
Uh-huh.
They were going into Game 4. Everybody pretty much knew that the series was going to be over with because
Mm-hmm.
the first 3 games weren't really close. It was his time.
Yep.
We're gonna pass the torch. Whatever. In our city, he gets in front of a camera and says, yeah, the NBA and all the fans will be glad that this is the end of dirty basketball. We're just ready to move on. He actually said that, man. That's why we walked off the court. Because of that shit, man. That's why we didn't, pass the torch. Like,
Well, just because he was
we
talking
gave
shit
him-
against
we-
our
we-
team.
We
that
gave
don't
him
mean
the
you
torch.
can't-
We gave him the torch the way that it was given to us when we beat Boston. Do you remember when Boston walked off the court? They did the same
Okay,
thing. You know
yeah.
that, Dan?
Huh.
Do you remember that?
No.
I don't remember them walking off, but
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if that's on film, but look it up. When we beat Boston
Mm-hmm.
in '88 at the Silverdome, Dantley is at the foul line.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Bill Walton, DJ, basically
They-
everybody except for the people that were on the court
On the
playing
court.
still. They didn't just. This is while Dantley was at the line taking a foul
Right, right,
shot.
right.
They didn't just walk off the court. They walked
Mm.
through us. On the court, walked right through us and said nothing. They just got the hell out of there.
they was pissed.
No one talks about that. No one talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
But people complain because, people always coddle Michael Jordan, that
Man,
we
come
did that
on.
to them. They coddle him. We did the same thing to him what was done to us.
Okay.
And I don't feel bad about that.
Okay, I got
him
you.
or Scottie Pippen. I definitely wouldn't.
Ray definitely lets his heart make decisions.
But here's the deal. Growing up, I
sometimes.
didn't like Michael Jordan either. It's just as I got older, I
just
gotta
think
respect this
he's the
dude.
best. George Miller hit it on the button last week.
Mm-hmm.
He said back in the '80s when we was fighting with Bird and Magic, he said, Michael, that was the easy series. That was the easy series.
Right, he had to
But
go-
because everybody has excuses for him. Yeah, but when he got this and this and this and he got older,
He had to
I
go
don't
through the
wanna hear
struggle.
that when he got older.
You know, back then too, remember they made the playoffs one year and they were like, they only won like 30-some games. You remember that?
Who?
The Bulls.
That might have been his rookie
But
season.
they made the playoffs though with like 30. So
yeah, but in the '80s they were finishing like fourth in division.
right.
You
So
know,
what does
Larry
that say
Bird
about?
swept him 2 years in a row, and then we beat him 3 years in a row.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably why they're getting their butt whipped. They only won 30 games, man. What they gonna do?
So
He was averaging like 33 a game.
Oh, yeah, he was
And
balling.
88, he was MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
all right, so Fred, what's your answer?
Oh, I'm sorry.
we got to get to an answer.
I'm sorry.
Man, I can't, man. I can't answer.
It's tough. You got to.
If I have to answer that,
Gun to your head. Got to
if I
answer.
had to answer it with a gun to my head, I'd probably say, I'd probably have to let shit.
He had a week.
I know, man, but I thought
to
of the
figure this
question. I
out.
thought of it differently. Okay, all right. It'll probably
You
be
gotta cut somebody. I mean, what more do you need to know?
it'll probably be Roy Jones. Yeah.
Ooh.
That was
It'll probably be.
I thought you were going towards Griffey there.
It was gonna be Griffey, but Griffey, man,
I thought he was going to
a-
say. I thought he was going to say Griffey just for the fact that he's not a baseball person.
Right. But I
Which
know
would've
enough
been
about
weak.
I know
Right,
enough about
right.
Griffey though to where he was that guy. He was that guy. You can't. It's like
Okay.
Jordan. You can't cut Griffey. That's stupid. You know, or even Barry. I mean, Roy Jones. Dang. It had to be Roy, man. It had to be Roy. As much as I
Damn.
love Roy, man.
So
It had to be
Roy,
Roy.
right now, what
Like,
you
Roy, you
just
gotta-
told him,
gotta
he's
get your
getting
shit-
up off the
gotta get
couch,
your shit.
walking out with his head down with his shit. Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't
Just
say it
cut him.
disrespectfully. I'd be like,
90s, man.
hey, I give him a 10-minute speech first. It'd be a good one. Like, hey, much respect, because I don't want him whooping my ass.
I've never seen a guy that could fight 12 rounds with his hands down. Never seen that.
Man, he did
Never,
a lot
never
of
will
things.
see that again.
He did a lot of things. I was awesome.
Okay.
All right, you ready for my
he says
answer
Roy
now?
Jones, we are ready for yours.
Okay,
man.
my answer is going to be short and sweet because it's quick. It's easy.
Uh-huh.
Two of those guys don't even belong in the room. I'm telling them, you guys are good. Go on, enjoy your day.
Right.
And that's Jordan and Barry. 'Cause
Right.
Those two
Right.
were the dominant at their sport, hands down.
Easy.
You guys are free to go. Okay. So to me, it's a decision between Roy Jones Jr. and Ken Griffey.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna cut Ken Griffey only because Roy Jones Jr. at the time was considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Even with guys like Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson was on the tail end of his career. Guys like
Yeah, he
Lennox
was a pump.
Lewis,
Yeah, he was a
Oscar
pump.
De La Hoya,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was considered pound for pound best fighter in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, in the 90s, it was
Yeah.
definitely Roy. I agree with that.
While Ken Griffey Jr. dominated in the outfield, hitting home runs, there are a lot of other dominant baseball players in there. Derek Jeter, Randy Johnson, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds.
But on that team, though,
There's a
if
lot
you
of
remove
lot
Ken
more
Griffey,
dominant guys in the baseball world.
we're talking about on that team.
I agree. I do agree with Dan, but the reason why I chose Griffey over the other guys is because him and Roger Clemens were on the all-century team of the 1900s. And those two were the only active players that were all-century team.
But you take those other three guys, Jordan, Barry, Roy Jones
Griffey
Jr.
was like the Randall Cunningham of his time, but better.
Yeah, but then that's the
Way
thing.
better.
If you remove him from that team,
And,
You might as
he's,
well, that's
and he's
it.
never and he's
Yeah.
never involved in that steroid discussion either.
he's
all
not.
natural.
He's not.
All
He's
natural.
Right.
He's not.
That swing. Oh,
Yeah, speed out there. Ken Griffey was nice. That's
All
a
right.
tough one, man. I
Your
ain't even
turn.
hold you up.
Your
That's a good
turn,
one,
Ray.
right? That's a good
okay.
one.
The 1990s. Despite what I just said about Michael Jordan, that's the guy that I'm not cutting out of the. That's the only clear cut that's
Yeah.
not getting cut.
The
It'd be
only
Michael
clear
Jordan.
cut?
The
Wow.
most clear cut.
Okay.
The most clear cut. I'm not.
Okay.
Jordan, okay, so just take Jordan out of it. So I got to choose between Barry, Roy Jones Jr., and Ken Griffey Jr.
Now, you created this question.
I know, but I didn't know I was going to have to answer it, though. I was just trying to make it hard on you.
See?
I just put him on the spot because I
Right.
thought
Threw me on
it
the
wasn't
spot,
fair to
man.
make
Right,
you answer and we
right.
didn't answer too.
First he puts this table where I didn't want it. Got all these schmucks
game right
walking through our damn shot, but no. Okay, Jordan's out. Jordan is staying in my office.
Yep.
Barry Sanders.
You better not disrespect Barry Sanders, man.
Don't you do it.
Oh, I know Ray not going to do that.
I'll flip a table.
I'll keep Barry because why am I keeping Barry?
Why?
Here's one thing. Here's
Cut.
one thing I like about Barry that don't get talked about enough. Obviously, he retired a little early, okay? And Emmitt Smith said that, Barry would have been the all-time leading rusher.
Yep.
Emmitt has said that more than once. Another thing I liked about Barry is his numbers could have been higher.
With a better
But
offensive.
he used to take himself out of the game so, like, Ron Rivers could play. He sacrificed, 2 rushing titles in 2 different years so the backup could play.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. Maybe.
I'm keeping Barry. I'm keeping Barry.
You better keep Barry.
Well, I don't want to be called a homer, okay? Because
I'd
you
throw
called me a
beer
homer
at
about
you
that
if you
Glenn
didn't
Rice
keep
stuff.
Barry.
You called me a homer about that Glenn Rice stuff, so I don't want to be called a homer because I'm keeping Barry. Now I got to choose between Roy Jones Jr. And Ken Griffey Jr.
Right. See? And you wanted me to be, straight up and.
It's not easy to answer, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not.
That's a great group.
I guess it's. I guess it would be Griffey that I'm cutting because Roy Jones Jr. for that entire decade.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any tough fights. He even fought in the heavyweight division one time, beat John Ruiz.
Yeah.
He wore the heavyweight strap for like 6 months. He beat John Ruiz
Yep.
very easily.
I seen that dude win a
He's
fight
the
with a
guy-
broken hand.
Listen, Roy Jones Jr. is the guy that dethroned James Lights Out Tony. I'm talking about a young,
Yeah,
in shape,
yeah.
light heavyweight James Lights Out Tony. He gave Tony his first loss, and then dominated the rest of the decade.
Yeah, he'll fight anybody and talk
Yeah.
shit about it.
Yep. I forget what fight it was. I seen him.
Okay,
and I
I'm
want
gonna
to
tell you
believe.
why.
I want to say he broke.
Well, hold on. I got to answer the
Okay.
question. I'll say this. Okay, now Griffey. If we were doing like single season, he might have had like the best single season in the 90s of any of these guys.
Okay.
I would have to look that up. But I don't think Ken Griffey was dominant the entire decade. If we if we really looked into like the early 90s, like he said, there could be players that could be thrown in that discussion. I think with boxing,
But every team would take Griffey.
boxing. There's no gray area there. There's Roy Jones Jr. pound for pound. Michael Jordan goes without saying.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Now was Barry the best player?
You can argue some
in
Barry
the 90s
stuff.
every
Right?
year?
You can argue some Barry stuff.
Was he the best player in the
Barry
90s every
Sanders?
year? Yeah, Barry Sanders.
Are you kidding me? Barry Sanders,
We talking about
Is
player
he
or
better
running
than
back?
Deion Sanders?
For the whole 90s.
Is he the best guy named Sanders in the 1990s?
Yes.
I didn't even think of Deion
Definitely
Sanders.
yes.
Yeah. Well,
He definitely was?
Definitely yes. Deion Sanders can be considered one of the all-time great defensive backs, but when you come all-time great players, I would put Barry Sanders ahead of
You
Deion
said, hold on.
Sanders.
Now, if you said,
that's
hold
a
on,
whole
hold on.
other argument.
But
Hold
in
on.
the
If
90s.
hold on. If you gave the nod to Barry, I'm cool with that. You said definitely yes, as if Deion don't even belong in that discussion.
No. I said definitely yes.
Right.
Like Deion belongs in the discussion, but it's not a discussion to me.
I didn't think of Deion, but no, I would still say Barry.
But in the 90s, it was Barry and Emmett
Because
in
Barry-
the 90s. That was a debate. It was the Jordan LeBron debate in the 90s with Barry and Emmett. Who was better?
All right.
And you still got the same argument with Barry. If Barry had that offensive line, it would have been different. You know,
Right.
Emmett had that line. You know, but I don't know. I wonder what it would have been like if he had a line though.
So you're cutting Roy.
I don't want to cut Roy no more.
We're
You already got it on record, man.
changing your mind.
Changing this.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because
so you
Griffey,
got
man.
Roy Jones, Griffey Jr. and Griffey Jr. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right. That's
my
right.
God.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
we can
Ken.
forget having those guys on our podcast. They ain't gonna accept this shit.
Right,
Okay.
Right.
All right. Boo, this is how I'm gonna end the show today. I always say something nice about somebody. It was very easy to think about what I wanted to say about you. Dan, listen, I want you to listen to this, Dan. I'm close with all my teammates, okay? Equal. I put them all equally. He's a little different. He's a little different because I remember about 6 years ago, he called me on the phone and he had to talk about something personal. I'm talking about like real personal, something that was near and dear to him. And he told me on the phone, he said, Ray, I want to know if I'm doing the right thing. I want your opinion. He said, your opinion means everything to me. And then there was 4 other guys that he named. He said, I'm going to call these guys too. You know, one of them is in the building here today. And the fact, when he said that to me, someone like Fred Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Like Fred Jackson's his dad. This guy has coached Flint Northern, Flint Southwestern Academy, Flint Central, all 4, and he's at Flint High School. Track coach, he's the head track coach and the assistant football coach. And
basketball this year.
you're doing basketball too?
Yeah, man.
Okay. See, that's what, I mean, he's always involved, man. And the fact that he would trust me with what I think, that I will always remember that about you, man. I mean, doesn't that would that make you feel good?
Absolutely.
Somebody that you really care about and
Somebody
respect.
valued my
would
opinion like
yes,
that?
value your
Absolutely.
opinion. like
I
that,
did.
man.
I valued your opinion, man, big
Yeah,
time.
it's this is not a football issue. What I will remember him for, I will always remember him for that phone call.
Yep.
And we talked on the phone for like an hour. I hope that I was able to shed some positive
You did.
light on the subject.
Yep.
But
Especially when somebody's asking you to input on their personal
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
A
yeah,
personal,
trust me.
close
Like they would
decision.
trust me like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to call all those other friends neither.
Oh,
You know.
wow.
Right.
Didn't know that, man. You know I'm sensitive, man. You got to be careful.
I'm sensitive too.
I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive, man. Be careful.
It's all good, man.
But yeah, man, this is Fred Jackson, man, and this is episode 11. This is the season finale. I've been trying to get him on the show for a long time,
No, you haven't.
and I'm gonna tell you this. Flint, the Jaguars, the Flint Jaguars will be winners, like the way Davison wins now. Flint will win like that someday,
Yeah, it's coming.
and I'll be
It's
there.
coming.
Basketball team's doing good right now. The track coach, the track team is going to do really, really good.
Yep.
Mike Fordham's over there at the Flint Cultural Center Academy. You know, Weathers is like involved with the whole athletic program
Can we
at
get
Flint
can
High
we,
School.
Can we get Dre to come over and just say hi real quick? You think?
Hey, Dre.
Yes, Drake, come over here and say hi before we end the season finale.
Just to end the show.
He got one full one.
Andre Weathers here, the head coach of Flint High School. That's an NFL player in the house right here. Yeah, there. Yeah, he can't hardly walk, but
Scoot over a little bit,
Should I
Fred.
slide over so you can? Hi. Anything you want to say to the?
yeah, go ahead and address the people, Drake.
You got to slide in the shot though.
Yeah, get him in the shot.
Just that for you there, sir.
There you go.
Be blessed.
Oh,
He for real too.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah.
They got steak and
I
eggs.
walked
didn't know
into that one.
I might be
walked into that
ordering
one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll include. I don't know if you're aware of my New Year's resolution, but
The cussing?
this is the last episode that you will hear me say cuss words on.
Okay.
There will be a Crown Royal bag right here.
Uh-huh.
And every time I say a cuss word, I have to throw a $5 bill in there, not a single.
Now,
You know I don't like giving up money.
right. So does that include like hell and is ass? a
I don't
cuss
think
word?
so.
They,
Hell no, ass
Ass,
yes.
or
damn.
damn's not a cuss word. Only
What do you, Fred? We need to go to the
If-
judges.
Y'all got to get that established. Y'all got to
We
get
need
that
to go to the
established.
judges. I think damn it.
G-O-D in front of that makes damn bad if you say G-O-D in front of it. Right?
I don't say G-O-D. I see G-O-T. God dang.
I do too. I do
God.
too.
God.
I
Or
don't
GA.
say damn a lot. I say damn it. So to me, damn it is a swear word.
That's a swear word?
I guess you look at it
Okay.
if your daughter that's 5 years old, if she said it, would she get in trouble?
Yeah.
If she said what?
Damn.
Like damn or ass.
Ass? Yes.
So that's a cuss word.
For a child?
I'm saying for you, like when you if you say ass,
That's a cuss word. That's a
Yeah.
cuss word.
Yeah.
If it can be used as a cuss word, then it's a cuss word.
Yes.
so hell then you can't say hell.
I don't. I say no on hell. Hell.
What
What
about
the
damn?
hell?
Just-
What
if
the-
you
what
say
the
if you
hell?
say hell no.
Oh yeah, hell no, hell no.
No.
What
that's
about
not a kid.
damn? Now we need to
Damn,
come to.
if
Is
you
damn
say-
a cuss word?
Depends how you use it.
That's the thing. I don't say damn. I say damn it. So I don't know. I got to go to the judges on that one.
Okay.
Well, you're the judge.
I'm the judge.
You're the judge.
Fred. What do you think?
I don't think you
Damn.
should say none of it. If you're
Damn.
gonna stop, you're just gonna stop. If you think it's a cuss word, it's a cuss word.
Okay.
What if somebody interrupts our show? And you know how I get. Do I get excused for that?
Nah, man, you said
No,
it's a
'cause you-
resolution. That's it. Nah.
No. 'Cause you got to ignore them anyways. Just keep rolling.
What about anticipating words? Like, what if you like, shh?
I gotta wait a minute. I gotta ignore people that interrupt our show. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Right.
You should have
Syllables
been. You
don't
should have
count.
been a last week's show.
So
Oh,
we're
it's like
gonna,
that.
we're gonna
Oh, yeah.
say hell. You can say damn ass. You cannot say.
Okay, so hell and damn are okay.
No, hell is okay. Damn is not okay.
What if it's a
Damn
word
is not
that's?
okay.
What if it's a word that's you know what you mean though? Like Dre, he don't cuss that much. He say, "What the frick?"
No, that's okay.
That's okay, even though you mean the
Yeah,
word?
Even though you're
if
implying.
if
Even though
you're
you mean the
replacing-
word.
If you're replacing the word, it's okay
Oh,
because
so
you're
you
not
good
saying
then.
it.
Okay,
You good
Right?
then.
Because you can say "gosh darn it," right, and that's replacing.
Okay, then you good.
You think I'll be able to go a whole year without cussing?
No,
absolutely not.
But
Why?
because you've been cussing all your life.
Oh.
Because everybody knows
You
you.
cuss
right?
all your you can't. That's like stopping smoking on the day
Never. Hey, never to
It's cold
somebody that
turkey.
didn't have it coming.
Because all it's gonna take,
Never to somebody that didn't have it coming.
all it's gonna take is one person walking by,
Oh, yeah.
giving Ray a look while we're doing one of these shows
Uh-huh.
that he doesn't like, and he's gonna say, "What the fuck you looking at?"
Okay, listen, hold on. So you weren't
This
here
fucking
yet
guy.
today. You weren't. Okay, this happened earlier today. And Dan, I can't say it enough. It's not your fault. You did what you had to do. Mm-hmm. I walked in here right when I walked in, and I seen him.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I looked right at Dan. I said, "Tell me we ain't doing the show right here." I said, "Why aren't we in there?" And then he showed me why. He showed me why we can't do it in there. I said, "Dan, listen, man." I said, "I'm gonna tell you right now." I said, "I mean this when I say that." I said, "Nobody better interrupt our show today, because that light-skinned guy that walked through here could have got the business
And that was
very
early.
easily,
And that was early.
very easily." But
You giving the poor guy a hard time. He was just walking by.
Yeah, man.
but what are they looking at? There's a
He's looking at
microphone
you
here,
doing
a
a show.
microphone
This is-
here.
this is
We
not
have
normal
microphones.
for them.
This is
yeah,
not
but
normal.
obviously the guy is conducting an interview.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, but it's not normal for people to walk into a bar and see that. So
Right, at noon, you know.
He's just checking it out. That's all. You
Man,
gotta just
look,
let that stuff
I
slide
should
off
have
your
told
back.
him. I
man.
should have said, "Take your LB Sure looking ass on someplace, man. We got an interview going on here." That's what I should have said.
No,
All
you
right.
shouldn't have, Ray.
Okay. Listen, man, I love Boo, man. That's my boy,
Love you
Boo,
too,
man. He's
man,
gonna be my
for
friend
sure.
for the rest of my life.
No
I
doubt.
love the Jackson family.
No doubt.
So, from Sharkies, man, this is the season finale. We'll see you guys next Saturday at the Clio Roadhouse with Steve Levels.
Oh, nice.